Good evening. Today is the 13th of April, about 8:34 p.m. here in New York, and we will be starting our first session of the Selenium with Java. And this course is going to run for 1 month, and it is going to be for the remaining period of April and probably the first week of May. Hence, it is April-May batch. My name is Irfan, and I want to welcome you all. Thank you for being here. I appreciate your time and the effort that you would be putting in to make this thing happen. So let's get going here. The first thing that I would like to do is make sure that you understand what you're getting into, right? This is a very serious commitment that I would seek from your side. So I would appreciate if you take this very seriously, because in the next 4 weeks, I'm going to be making some serious efforts to transfer the knowledge. So when we're talking about transferring of the knowledge, basically this is what we will be doing in the next 4 weeks. We will be meeting on Mondays and Wednesdays in the evening from 8 or 8:30 p.m. We will decide what time we should be choosing. So right now we are trying for 8:30 to 10:30 Eastern Standard Time. So that's what we will stick to, unless you know, there is a general agreement from everyone that we should be moving it to 8 to 10. But let's say we start from 8:30 to 10:30. So this is basically what we will be doing. We will be covering everything there is for you to know as far as Selenium with Java is concerned. So there will be some serious effort that will go into next 4 weeks to make you learn it. So the way we're going to be doing it is a complete hands-on training. So the first day, I got to lay out the plot. I have to share with you some information as what you're getting into and stuff like that. But once we do pass that part, then it is going to be a completely hands-on course. There will be 8 sessions. And each session is going to be 2 hours long, and at the tail end of the session, around 10:30-ish, I will assign you some work, and this is going to be a regular thing for the next 8 classes. So there is going to be 8 assignments from my side, and the assignments will require you to put in some effort to complete them. Now, what are we going to be gaining if we complete these assignments? I can assure you of one thing. When you complete the assignments, when you put in the effort to complete those assignments, you're going to be learning a lot doing those assignments. Because watching me do something is one thing, and you putting your hands on and doing it yourself is another thing. And with that exercise, what we're going to be gaining out of it is you will be presented with some scenarios that you would possibly come across when you're going to be working in a real-life project. And those scenarios is not going to be far from what I will be assigning you the task, those 8 tasks. So this course will require you to have some knowledge of Java. So if you come back and if you say that, hey, I don't have any knowledge of Java, so will try to teach you as much of Java as I can. So it will be through a combination of the lectures here, as well as through some videos. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be giving you a bunch of videos to watch. So if you allow me a second here, I will show you that the videos that you have to watch will take you through the core Java. So just to give you an idea, we've been providing this training in different courses. We have the advanced UFT, API testing, and we have coded UI, we have ETL testing, C#, Java for testers, Jira, we have load runner, we have mobile testing, we have QA, QTP, UFT, we have Ruby Cucumber, we got Selenium with C# as well as with Java, we have SOAP UI, we got, you know, pretty much anything under the sun when it comes to software automation testing. We are offering those kind of trainings. Now, if you buy these courses individually, it is going to cost you a little bit more money. So it's almost like $400, a dollar shy of 400 if you take it as a single course. But if you go with some of the packages that we have, so let's say one of the hot seller that we have is buy two get one free. So you get 3 courses for $799. Some of the courses are $500, right? If you just go and take a look into, let's say, Ruby Cucumber. Ruby Cucumber is a $500 course, right? As you can see, it's a $499, $500 course. And then there are some other courses that are pretty expensive, like if you look into it, this is again a $500 course. And if you look into Selenium with C#.NET, that's also a $500 course. So you could save quite a bit by going with this buy two get one free. So you're getting like 3 courses for $799, or you could, you know, double that package, 6 courses for $11.99. So if you call it as a $1,200, 1,200 divided by 6 is 200. So every course will be half of what you would be paying here if you take it as a single course. So single course is $400 and you're getting it for, so though it's like a Costco or Sam's model. The more you buy, the more discounts you're going to get. So that's basically up to you if you want to look into that. Swati, I think you got to go out and come back in because everyone else is able to hear me. So if you are not able to hear me, then you got to go out and then come back in. So let me just maybe, I mean, look at me. I mean, she says I can't hear you, and I'm trying to tell her that do this. So I got to type it so that she could read it. Log out and log back in. Okay, so anyways, so what I have to do is I got to talk to you some housekeeping rules as how you know, you should get the maximum benefit out of this live session, because if you are purchasing a videos, the videos are like $100 cheaper. So with a live session will be some interaction between you and me. The interaction is done in one of the 2 ways. If you look at your control panel right on the top, you would see that you have whatchamacall, like a arrow, and when you click on that, it opens up, and then you could type your messages in that chat window. There is a chat window, and you could type a message. Say for example, I'm going to be saying hello everyone, and notice that you might have you know, received that message. So if you have any question, you can type that question, and if I'm in the middle of explaining you something, I'll finish my thought, and then I'll come to you, and then I'll answer your question. You can also interrupt me by raising your hand. There's a little icon there. When you click on it, it raises a flag next to your name, and I know that you need some attention, so I will pause myself, and then I will try to address your question. All right, so make it interactive. Ask me questions. So anytime you have any questions, feel free. Either you could type it, you could ask me. So you don't really have to wait till the end of the session. Even though at the end of the session we will have what is called a Q&A session. So we will be doing a Q&A session every you know, class that we will have. We will do a Q&A session. So I will take all your questions at the end of it. But maybe you have questions right away, right now, that you want me to answer. So just ask, and I will answer. So with the live training, what you're going to be getting is you'll be getting my time right away. I will be answering your question, and then I will be checking your assignment. So there will be 8 assignments, and when you submit those assignments, I'm going to take a look at it. And if you have any questions pertaining to those assignments, you could ask me, and I will be more than happy to help you out. Okay, let's talk about what are the expectations from both the parties. I mean, what do I expect from you, and what do you expect from me? So when we're meeting for 1 month, you know, I expect that you should get the real training for the amount that you have paid. You should get you know, every little bit of information when it comes to Selenium with Java. So what is that you are here for? You're here for trying to get this knowledge so that you could use Selenium at work to do automated testing. Now, these are the topics that we will be touching base. Now, not every topic will be covered as a part of the live class. As an example, just to give you an example, Selenium RC Server. You might not even know what that is, but that particular topic, I will justify. If I'm not doing something in the live class, I will give you a reason why I'm not doing it. And but that doesn't mean that that topic will not be covered. That topic will be covered because you could just go and then watch the videos, and then you would get to know as how to do RC Server. First of all, RC Server is something that is not being used today in the year 2016. It's not being used. Very few companies. If I have to put a number, probably like 5 to 10% of the companies are using RC Server. That means that 90 to 95% of the companies are not using RC Server. So if they're not using RC Server, why invest our time, at least in the live class, to do that? So I could be using that time to teach you something else. And what is that something else? Maybe something very important. Just to give you an example, these are some of the, what's I'm call like advanced topics, Maven, right? And then page objects, and then Selenium Grid, and then Cucumber, right? Cucumber is a hot topic. A lot of companies, are looking for people with these kind of skills. So what I am trying to do in this course is give you as much as I can. Right? At times, you will feel, not in the first class, not in the second class. First, second class are, slightly easy. But once we start to get into third class, then, and I'm not trying to discourage you, and I'm not trying to make you scared of this. The whole intent of sharing this information is to prepare you so that, you gear up, right? And you get motivated, and then you plan your things so that you're not in a surprise, like how come this course it was easy for the first 2-3 classes, and then all of a sudden it became difficult for me. So it's not going to be difficult. It is technically, it is going to be something like this. And if you can bear with me for a second, I will try to prove my point where I'm going with it. If you see here, if I plot you a graph here, let's say we are here, right? And this is in terms of time, right? So this is week 1 or day 1, right? This is day 1. We'll have day 2, we'll have day 3, and day 6, and day 8. So we will have 8 days. Each is 2 hours long. And let's say this is time, and this is your knowledge, right, of Selenium. So how do you expect this graph to go? Let's say this knowledge is, let's say you are here at 0, and you expect to get, let's say, 100% of the knowledge, right? So how do you expect this graph to grow? This graph should be, this is the ideal graph, right? At the end of 8 weeks, right? You expect that this is 8 weeks, or rather 8 days, and you expect that your knowledge should be almost 100% of Selenium you should be knowing, right? Okay, let me tell you, majority of you will try to follow this graph, and most of you are going to be, it is going to be something like that, meaning that you will hit about 90%. So about 90% of the course you will know in this live class. You would learn. Now, this is not necessarily true for everyone. So who will learn 90%, and who are the people who would be probably struggling here? This is the bad graph, but some of you would be somewhere around like 50 to 60%. Who are these people? Will you be in this that at the end of 8 classes, you're just going to get only 50%? Will you be there? I will tell you how to find out. Now, everyone who completes their assignments, right? Whoever completes their assignments, they're going to be here. They're going to be here. It is guaranteed, because you're working hard, you're doing your assignments, and you will get that knowledge. It's a guarantee from me. It's a promise from me. You're going to get that knowledge. Now, if you have, reasons like, oh, I got to take my daughter to a dance class. I got to take my son to a swimming class. I have my mother-in-law. I got to take care of my mother-in-law. I have to, prepare food. I have to wash clothes. I have to take care of my groceries. Any reason, no reason is a good reason for you not completing the assignments. If you find yourself not completing the assignments, then you're not going to get the knowledge. So you will be the one who will be here. So right now, I'm preparing you not to be at this 50, 60%. I am preparing you to be at 90, 95%. And this is going to happen if you complete the assignments. All right. And the assignments in the beginning, day 1, day 2, are going to be, not so difficult and all that. Starting from day 3, it requires you to put some serious effort. Now, what do you mean by serious effort? So this is basically classes you will be attending, but on top of that, you have to watch some videos. You have to, and the videos I'll be sharing with you from the previous batches and some topics, the special topics and all that. So you got to watch the videos and complete the assignments. Each assignment on an average will take about a good 1.5 to 2 hours, right? So in order to complete those assignments, you also have to watch the videos. You have to complete, attend these sessions. So on an average, 16 hours of live training, and this 2 hours times 8, that is 16 hours of, this is assignments, right? And this is live training, and plus, let's say about 10 to 15 hours of other videos you have to watch. Right? So we're talking about 42, approximately about 42 hours, right? That's what you will be putting in this 1 month. So in a day, we have 24 hours. Now, I'm not expecting you to just, learn everything in just one day, but, in a day, we have 24 hours. If you give, let's say, 1 hour a day, or maybe 1.2 hours a day, you are fine. This will be more than enough if you could give like 1 hour a day, but consistently do that, right? Of course, take your weekends off if you have to, but make sure that you complete your assignments. It should be done with serious commitment to the program. So if you are not available to give like an hour or about total of 42 hours in this 1 month, then I think this is not for you. I mean, I'm shooting myself in my foot by asking you to drop out, but so be it, because I want all serious people to join this, because together we want to achieve something, and I will make you achieve this. The things that you're going to be getting out there when you complete this course are some serious jobs. If you go to dice.com and look into the availability of what is out there, you will be surprised. I mean, people, they come here and then they take these courses. They don't even complete the courses. They're like 3/4 in there. They apply for the jobs and then they get good, decent jobs. So if you search for Selenium, right? And forgive me, it keeps bringing out New York. But if you go with Selenium all over the country, you'll find that there are tremendous opportunities. The many opportunities all over the country. They are, so many opportunities that you will be surprised. And if you look into the areas, it's all over the country, from Texas to Maryland to Georgia to, again, Texas, California, Georgia again, Illinois, New York, California, New Jersey, all over the country you have these jobs. Now, I can tell you one thing. Again, if you take it seriously, if you seriously commit to the program, first interview, probably you will flunk, you will fail. Second interview, probably you would fail. A third interview, I will guarantee you will pass. I will guarantee you will pass the third interview, provided you are the one who are completing those assignments. Because I'm going to be covering almost everything there is they could ask you in the interviews. They'll be asking you, I mean, I will not give out some of the questions, but just to give you as an example, they'll be asking you, okay, can you please shed some light between the differences between the TestNG and the JUnit framework? Which one have you been using and why? So, I mean, you would have done so many assignments on that. It will come like it'll flow out of your mouth as water. I mean, it is smoothly. You're going to tell them everything about it. They're going to ask you a question like, some companies would ask you a question like, did you do any BDD? Did you do any cucumber? And right now, when you hear those words, you're like, what is he talking about? I mean, I have no idea what this BDD is. Don't worry about that. Don't worry. I mean, I'm just trying to give you an example that these kind of questions would come. And guess what? We know, we are in the industry for so many years. We've been providing this training. We know absolutely what kind of questions they would be asking you. And one of the reasons a lot of people, they come take these courses, and I'm telling you, you don't even have to wait till the end of the course, is because if you put in the effort, if you watch the videos, if you do the assignments, you are ready. You take those interviews, right? And this is almost my guarantee to you. First time, probably you would fail. Second time, probably you would fail. Third time, definitely you would pass, unless you cannot talk. I mean, I know some people who have difficulty. They might be very good in creating the test scripts. They might be very good at it. But when it comes to like talking, they have a problem. Now, I unfortunately, it'll be very difficult for me to help those kind of people. But again, I will try. I will try to help. So what my suggestion to you is, you have to practice on multiple fronts, not only as how to do these things, but how to talk about it. So what I will prepare you is what to say in the interview, how to say it in the interview. So it's not going to happen just in 1 or 2 sessions. I will make you talk about it, not when you are with me. I'm going to make you talk about it when you are in the shower, right? Stop singing those, songs. I mean, some of the people could be like bathroom singers. So don't sing songs. Talk about Selenium while you are taking a shower. Talk about it if you are cooking. Talk about it if you are driving. People might like look at you like, what happened to this person? But that's fine. 30 days, serious commitment, keep talking. Selenium is what you should be doing for the next 30 days. Now, what I need from you is, again, if you have things to do, don't join this course. Please do not join this course if you have so many things to do. Now, you would say that I got to live a life, man. I mean, I cannot be like not taking care of things. What I am saying is, of course, do that. I mean, we all have to live a life. So we cannot be, going into a jungle and then doing Selenium. So the tricks is, if you're married, if you have a spouse, tell your spouse, for the next 30 days, bear with me, right? I am on an assignment here. I'm on a task here. Help me out. And take some support from your spouse for the next 30 days. Say that, help me out. Whatever chores I am supposed to do, I will be doing it, but probably I'll be doing a little less of it because I got to concentrate on this. So, imagine when somebody would have said that, oh, I don't have time to make a light bulb or create this electricity or do things like, come up with a... Things happen in life. People, when they are dedicated, when they put, so much of focus onto it, we can do it. There's no rocket science. We're not talking about like, go and find, a planet which is not... You and I, we cannot do it. I mean, I don't know about you, but I cannot do it. But can we learn it? Thousands of people have learned, before, so we can do it too. So what is needed is a little bit of focus, a little bit of, dedication and an interest in making it happen. Now, you would say, I don't know Java. How can I learn it? Majority of the people, they don't know. We are testers. We are not programmers. So Java is a language that can be learned in different ways. You can be, a programmer, then you have to know everything of Java. But in this course, I will give you enough of Java that you could do all your work, and your work is as an automated tester to build scripts. And I'll teach you that. And I'll teach you, I will write the code in front of you. There will not be one line that you would not know. Every line I will explain you what it is. And we will create the code in such a way that when you do the assignments, you will feel very confident when you see that it is working. And trust me, you will be a different person when you get out of this course, because you will feel as if you have achieved something. Right? And you would achieve something at the end of these 8 sessions. Now, how are you going to capitalize on whatever you would be taking away from this course? Meaning that you have put in some effort, you would have created some automated scripts and all that. But what I want you to do is save all that work, because the code that I will be teaching you is all reusable code. We will be developing a framework, and that framework will have everything, majority of the stuff in it would be reusable. Meaning that when you learn it here, when you do it here, keep it on a flash drive or put it in the Google Drive or put it in a Dropbox. When you go to a project, right, understand the project, what it is, and then don't worry too much about the code, because the code will be with you that you have created. I will do it here, you'll watch me, and then as a part of the assignment you're going to do it, and then you would have done it with your own hands. So when you go to the project, it will be slightly differently. Maybe you're working for a company like Verizon, maybe you're working for Bank of America, maybe you're working for, so domain is not necessarily very important. Everything is going to run in a browser. So I will show you as how to test an application in a browser, right? And we will take some serious applications. The projects that I am going to cover as a part of this training, these are all real life projects. I mean, I have 23 years of experience. I have been working in pretty much every area. I started with in the year 1996 as a programmer doing Microsoft Visual Basic and all that, and then I got into .NET, got into Java, and got into SharePoint. I'm basically, I traveled and I covered every little area in IT to get here. So I have 23 years of experience is what I am going to bring into this course and walk you through, giving you some real life examples. So bottom line is, it's going to be a handshake. My expectation is when I teach you something, you have to follow it up with your assignments. If you don't do the assignments, I will be a little bit upset with you. I'll be a little bit, hurt, because I am putting in so much of effort, and then, when it comes to your part, you are not. That's how I'm going to see it. So commitment from both the sides. My sides is to make sure that I will transfer the knowledge, give you everything that is needed. And from your side, you should be completing the assignments. All right. So that's the handshake. That's the contract we will have for the next 4 weeks in the 8 sessions. I do my part, and I expect you to do your part. What are you going to get out of this? Basically, you will be getting, going back in here, you would be pretty much be, ready to apply for most of the jobs. Probably not every job out there. I mean, I have 23 years of experience. I might not be able to apply for every job out there, right? I might not be. But so we will see. We'll come pretty close to, a match of what you're learning, which is all these topics. And here is going to be a match for you, and then you would be applying for it. And from a knowledge perspective, you will not be any different from somebody who has a real 4 or 5 years of knowledge, because they will also be doing things like Maven. They'll also be doing things like Ant. Right now, you don't know what is Ant, what is Maven, and what is this JDBC, what are the JUnit, TestNG. You don't know what is Cucumber and all that, and that's what we will be learning as a part of this course. All right. So the handshake again is, I will do my part, you have to do your part, and at the end of 4 weeks, hopefully, God willing, you will be in a much better shape, and we will be able to achieve our goal. The goal is, you should, I don't know what part of the country you are in, but Selenium going rate right now is, and I will not go aggressive with the numbers. I will go easy with the numbers. If you are somewhere in the East Coast or West Coast, then you could expect easily about $90,000 job. Now you would say that, oh, I'm already making it, right? That's fine. I mean, I'm happy if you're making $90,000 right now. But once you are learning Selenium, once you are going to be in it, within a year or so, right? Within a year or so, you have to hit that 100,000, and you will within a year. I'm telling you. The reason I'm telling you is because we have been doing it for a very long time. We've been doing it for, we might have deleted some of these. Let's see, there is 2012. Some of the old ones we might have deleted. But just to give you an idea, for many years we have been doing it. 2010 we started. So people who have taken these kind of trainings, Right now, they are very happy. They take one training, they come back, and then they end up like, taking more and more and more and more, right? And that is exactly what is going to happen to you as well. You might have noticed that we don't, torture you by making, those cold calls like, come join this course, because we are all adults here. We are all responsible people. I mean, if you know that this is going to be good for you, you will come and take it. I don't have to keep calling you and say that, hey, take this course. And we don't believe in that because the market is there. There are tremendous opportunities that are out there. You just have to make up your mind. You just have to make up your mind. Now, we will discuss all those details. I think Fistus is asking me a question like, how do we submit our assignment? I will walk you through how to do that once we get started. Okay, anybody, any questions before we actually get started with today's class? Let me take any questions if you have. I'll be more than happy to take your questions. If not, let us begin and let us get started. By the end of the day, we should be doing something that, we can kind of like, take it home and be happy that, okay, I spent my 2 hours in a productive way because I learned something that I did not know when I started this class at 2 hours back. So half hour, we just talked about it. I just gave you a little bit of speeches, what you're getting into and whatnot. But here we go. If you don't have any questions, let me get going. All right. So the idea here is we will be all fast forward 4 weeks will be automated testers. So if you are an automated tester, what is primarily the job of an automated tester, right? What is your job, right? What are you going to be doing after 4 weeks? What is going to happen to you? You'll be done with this course, but what is, realistically, what is going to happen? Well, we'll help you with the resumes and interview questions and whatnot. And then you will, let's say, go through some interviews. And then, again, if you are committed to the program, I'm not going to be surprised if it takes like 2 weeks or maximum like 2 to 3 weeks after you finish the course to get a job. And you will get a job. I mean, there is absolutely no doubt in my mind that you would get a job, right? Okay. Provided you follow everything that we tell you to do. Okay, when you get a job, day one, what is going to happen? Well, day one, meet and greet, you get to know people and whatnot, and then probably you're going to be getting some documentation, the BRDs and the specs and whatnot, and you'll go through the application. So what will you be testing? The answer is you'll be testing software applications, right? Okay, so if you're testing software applications, you should be knowing that software applications can be of different type, right? And forgive me if if you cannot read my handwriting, if I start scribbling. It is a little bit difficult to write on this, but if I give you this, what I'm doing, you might not be able to write this, but I have mastered it in few years, so that's how, but sometimes it'll be a little bit difficult to read what I'm saying. Okay, software applications is what we will be testing, right? So what is a software application? Software applications could be of many types, right? Just to give you an example, right now, not many people would know about this, but there are mainframe applications. Right? In 1970s, early 70s, mainframe was very, very popular, right? Now you would say, oh, I was not born. I mean, I was a toddler at that time, but still, mainframes were in 1970s. There are some applications out there that still use mainframe. So we got to be talking about, can we test mainframe applications? So mainframe is one of the types of application. The other one is the client server applications or desktop apps, right? And the other one is web applications. Now, web applications is something that runs in a browser. So when we talk about a browser, now on your machine, you should have all the browsers. Now, you would say, what do you mean by all browsers? I have Internet Explorer. Now, I would say, no, because you have to test it on multiple browsers. Because when an application is built, Bank of America builds an application, Johnson & Johnson builds an application, and I'll be throwing these names, so don't worry about it. T-Mobile or Sanofi or anybody who is building an application. Now, when the application is deployed, right? When they go live, when public starts using it, you cannot tell people that, hey, you know what, you have to use only Internet Explorer. Somebody might be using the other browser, which is Firefox. Somebody might be using Chrome. And some people, they say, oh, I like Opera, so I would like to use Opera. And some would say that, how about Apple Safari? So you have a bunch of browsers, right? So I don't know if you notice on my machine, if you see here, I got a Google Chrome. Oh, I got a Firefox. Oh, I got an Internet Explorer. I have an Opera, right? And I have Apple Safari. So guess what? Since we will be doing the web application testing, so I will be testing on all multiple browsers. So you at some point must have all of these on your machines. If you say that, oh, I don't have Firefox, I would say go ahead and download Firefox, because it's easy. You should go to Google and say download Firefox, and boom, within a minute or two, you'll have Firefox on your machine, right? Let's talk what should be the configuration of your machine. If you have a laptop, if you have a desktop, right? We all know that these laptops, desktops, they have operating system, right? Now, I prefer it to be Windows operating system. Now, you would say that I have Mac. I would say that, well, probably you are a rich guy, because, I, for one, I have pretty much all the machines they're out there. But when I started my career, I always had Windows machines because Mac was kind of like expensive machines at that time. Now everything is around like 1,400-1,500. You can afford it, but at that time they were like pretty expensive. Those machines were very expensive. So anyways, what percent of the corporate world is using Mac, right? That's the thing that you should be thinking. I would say very little. Probably that is in teens, right? 13, 15, 19%, not even 20, right? Most of them they're using to develop. I'm talking about, not about deployment and all that. To develop, they're using Windows machines. So we should be as close to real life as we can, right? So this course is based on Windows operating system. I have a Windows 7 on my machine. I'll be showing it to you either on Windows 7 or Windows 10. Now, will XP work? Yeah, it'll work, but it is deprecated. So try to move away from XP and go to Windows 7. If you have 8, that is fine. If you have 10, that is fine, right? Now, if you have Mac, I cannot really support. If you say that, oh, it's not working, something is not working on my Mac, I might not be able to support it, because I, for one, will do everything on a Windows machine. So that's what you should have. So that's the operating system. What else we should be focusing on your machine? You should be focusing on the RAM, right? So if you have 2 GB of RAM, I would say that it's better if you could go with 4 GB. Not that 2 would not work, but we will be doing multiple browser testing. We would be downloading many things. So I expect you to have 4 GB, right? Okay. Now, in terms of operating system, there is a 32-bit operating system. There is a 64-bit operating system. And if you have Windows 7, there is a home edition of it, and then there is a pro edition of it. And I mean, how would we find out what we have and what not? If you go from start and if you go to control panel, in the control panel, you should be able to see, probably some of you have these small icons, and since I do the presentations, I prefer to have large icons. So over here, you have something called system. When you click on the system, it tells you everything about what we have. So if you take a look, I have a 64-bit operating system. I mean, I want to show off that I have a very strong machine, and I don't want to jinx myself, but I have 16 GB of RAM, right? And when I bought this system, this is Alienware, right? This is all the gamers, they do it. I'm not a gamer, but the reason I bought it is because I do a lot of stuff on it, many trainings on it. So I want to make sure that I have the best system that is out there. So I have Intel i7. And I have Windows 7 Ultimate version of it, right? Now, you don't really need all that. You don't really need all that. So, but where to, look for it and all that, I have shown you. So you go from start to control panel, go to system, and then basically these are the areas that you should be able to see what do you have and what not, right? Okay. So that's the operating system, and that's the RAM, and that's the 32-bit or 64-bit and all that, right? So, and you got to have all the browsers. You can download all the browsers. So as a part of the assignment, you know, day 1 and day 2 will be more about setting up your machine. So setting up your environment, setting up the environment. So that's what we would be doing pretty much on day 1 and day 2 as part of our assignment. We would be doing along with so many other things, but we will also be setting up the environment. So one of the part of your assignment today is to download and install all browsers, right? That's the part of your assignment. You should be doing it on your machine. All right. Now, there's a question here. How about testing the mobile apps? I was coming to it. So here is the 4th part of our different types of applications. So these are mobile apps, mobile applications. Okay. What are we going to be covering as a part of this course? In this 4 weeks that you're going to be with me, are we going to be testing mainframe applications? The answer is no. Right? Because Selenium cannot test mainframe applications, so we cannot do that. Selenium cannot do client-server applications, so I cannot do that, right? So what is a client-server application? We can talk about it and all that when the time is right, but we will not be doing a client-server because Selenium cannot do it. So Selenium itself cannot do mainframe and all that. Selenium can do this and that. Now, I will be covering this. Unfortunately, I will not be covering that. Now, you would say, how come you are not covering the mobile apps, right? Mobile apps is very important. Now, unfortunately, the reason I am not covering that is because mobile apps, right? Mobile automated testing is a course by itself. You need another 16 hours to do that. There's so much of stuff that you got to be doing in mobile automated testing that I cannot be covering as a part of the Selenium Java class. I cannot be covering that. It'll not be fair to the topic of mobile testing because the limited time that we have, and we have to do, I don't cut corners when it comes to the quality of the training. When I take responsibility of teaching you something, you will get 100% out of it, right? So web applications is what we're going to be focusing here. If you need to come and then take mobile applications, that will be another course that you should be taking. So we will not be doing it. So our focus is going to be web applications. I will make sure that you get everything out of it, and that's what you will be doing. When you say all browsers, you mean whatever all you wrote, including Safari. Yeah, including Safari. Just download. This is Safari, by the way. This is Safari. You can download Safari as well because we will be testing it on multiple browsers. As you can see, this is Apple Safari. So you should be having all of these on your machine, right? We will be testing on all those browsers. Anyway, so coming back, part of the assignment today is to make sure that you download and install all the browsers. That one part of the assignment. Okay. So with Selenium, we can test web applications. Web applications are applications that run in a browser, and you got to be testing it for all multiple browsers. So we have to download all these browsers. You would be downloading it. Are we doing mobile testing? No. The reason for that is that that's a dedicated, skill that you need to have, and you need to take that as a complete course. We cannot be cutting corners by putting it in here, and I cannot do justice to that, so we will not be doing that. Okay. So when it comes to web applications, we will be testing it, right? We will be automating it. Okay. Now let's talk about how we are going to be testing this web applications. Now, when you have web applications, you could be testing either manual testing, right? And you could be doing, automation. So when we talk about automation, there are tools out there. There is something called QTP, or the new name for that is UFT. And then, of course, there is Selenium, there is something called Ranorax, and you have many tools. Now, the industry today, is majority of the people, they are using Selenium. The reason for that is it is open source. Open source meaning that you don't really have to pay anything for it. So kind of like free. Right? Now, you would say that if something is free, maybe it's not good, right? That is the general perception, right? That if it is free, maybe it doesn't do much. The answer to that is in the year 2009, 2010, even up to 2011, 12, QTP was the default testing tool. To do any kind of testing, automation, people would run to QTP. In the year 2008 and 9, Selenium came out, and Selenium has a bunch of versions in Selenium. So Selenium, in it, you could say that it has something called Selenium IDE, and I'll explain what is this IDE. And then there is something called RC Server, right? And then there is something called WebDriver, right? Now, today, everybody talks, when you say Selenium, that by default means WebDriver, right? So that means that not many companies are using Selenium IDE and RC Server, but we got to know what those things are, right? So today I am going to start today with the IDE. I will tell you what is IDE, and I will show you everything about IDE. And then starting from the next class, which is on Monday, we're going to go with the WebDriver, right? We'll go with WebDriver. So RC Server we will not cover through the live sessions. I'm repeating myself. I told you already about that. So you got to be going and then watching the video. So there are a bunch of videos out there that I will share with you that you could go and then watch RC Server, right? Now, let me just go back up here, and this is going to sort according to the alphabets here. So if I go into Selenium, we have something called must watch videos, right? Must watch. So what I will do is I will share with you a batch. Every batch will have about 8 videos, right? If you see here, if I go with, let me just go with slightly newer batch, let's say Selenium December, right? So there will be 8. If you see 1, 2, 3, 4, as you can see, day 4, day 5, day 6, there should be 8 videos, right? Now each video is on an average, hang on for a second. Okay, on an average, each video, if you see, on an average is about 2 hours long, right? That is basically our class, right? 2 hours long, and 2 hours again, and 2 hours again, hour 59, and then 2 hours 14 minutes, and then 2 hours 14 minutes again, 2 hours 12 minutes again, 2.5 hours here, day 8, 2.5 hours. So as you can see, these are basically the topics that we would be covering and whatnot, right? So one thing I would like to draw your attention, right? Now, when you see day 1, lot of interest. People watch 319 views, 243, 234. As you can see, it is dwindling away. It is going down. 197, here 256, 174, 163, 164. Meaning that why they are not watching it like 300 times, because this was easy, so everybody was watching it, and then at some point it became like a little bit difficult. And out of, like, let's say if we have like 15, 20 people here, probably half of them, or maybe 60-70% of them would still be dedicated when it comes to this time. Some of you would I don't want to say give up, but would come up with some reasons not to do it, right? Again, 30 days is what I ask, right? You must give 30 days, and in return I give you a promise that you will get a good career in automation testing, a good career in automation testing. You will start off with 70, 80, 90, depending on geographic location of where you are located. And then this is a career we are talking about, making a career. So in a year, year and a half, 100,000 is no big deal. Absolutely no big deal. Unless you are in Omaha. If you're in the middle of nowhere, right? I don't know, Montana. I mean, if you're in Montana, I mean, who is doing Selenium in Montana? Who is doing automation testing in Montana? Probably not many people. So they might not pay you. we should be farmers if you are going to live in that land. But if you're living in a happening place like bigger cities, Dallas, Chicago, or Houston, or North Carolina, anywhere, Raleigh, or whatever, then we're talking about like now we have people in far off places. I mean, people take training from Australia, from Sydney, from Melbourne, from New Zealand, from places that I don't even know where they are. There was a guy who took the training from Finland. I did not even knew where Finland was, but they go, they search, and some of my videos, they come up, they watch, and then they see some value out of this training, and then they come and take this training. So the idea here is I'm gonna make you learn in the next 4 weeks. That's my promise. All right. Okay. Coming back here, we talked about Selenium in one of these 3 forms. Now, how are we going to be doing this automation testing? The focus is using Selenium. We will be doing the automation testing, but Selenium comes in IDE, RC Server, WebDriver. So RC Server, you'll watch the videos. IDE, I will cover today. I'll start and finish today. Starting from tomorrow's class or next class, whenever that is, next Monday, we're going to be doing WebDriver. So the 7 classes, each is 2 hour long, complete WebDriver. So by the time you get out of this course, you're going to be a WebDriver specialist when it comes to Selenium WebDriver specialist. Okay, so let's continue. If you're doing automation, right? If you're doing automation, so you are not necessarily a programmer. So these guys, they know that we cannot be learning programming right away. So they offer you a feature, right? So Selenium offers a feature that is record, right, and play or run. Right, whatever you want to call it. So record and run, or record and play. So record and run is a feature of Selenium IDE. So now the question is, do I have Selenium IDE on my machine? Of course, I have it, but this is what I'm asking from your point of view. Like, do you have this? Of course, you don't have Selenium IDE. So now the question is, how do we set up Selenium IDE on your machine? So again, we go back to setting up the environment, and day 1 and day 2, you'll find ourselves setting up, downloading many things. So we will download and install the browsers, and then we'll also download and install Selenium IDE. So where should we go to download Selenium IDE? Now, before Selenium IDE, I want you to know that this training is what? This training is Selenium with Java. Now, what is the relationship between Selenium and Java? What is Selenium? What is Java? And do I need to have Java installed on my machine? Do I need to install Selenium on my machine? Of course. So we will talk a little bit about these relationship between the two, and then we'll go ahead and then do it. Okay. Now, in an ideal case, right, when you get hired by the companies, they want you to test the applications, right? Web applications that run in a browser. In order to test those applications, your job is, you are an automation engineer, right? That's what you are. So you are going to do what? You are going to do automation of the software. Automation software engineer. Now, there can be many, but your skills are in Selenium. Selenium is a kind of like a tool, let's say. It helps you in testing automation or testing software using automation. Now, any tool, any automation tool requires you to know some programming language. Now, you would say that, why should I know the programming language? Because as a job of an automation engineer or a tester, your job is to do what? Build what? Scripts. Now you would say, what is a script? A script is nothing but a small program. So in other words, you have to write some program, or a script is nothing but a small code or program that you have to write. So code or program, if you have to write, then you have to know some programming language. So there are many languages, right, out there. So there is something called Java as a language. There is something called C#.NET as a language. There is something called Ruby as a language. There is something called Python as a language. There is something called Perl as a language, and the list goes on, right? Okay. Now, fortunately, unfortunately, Selenium, when you have to write scripts in Selenium, Selenium offers you all these programming languages. Selenium says that, oh, you want to write in Java? I can do it. Selenium says that you want to write in C#? I can do it. Selenium says if you want to write your scripts in Ruby, I can do it. If you want to write it in Python, I can do it. If you write, so Selenium can do everything. Now the question is, do you want to learn all of these languages? Well, I would say that, well, if you want to learn, I will teach you. But there is no end to learning. You can be learning forever, and then you could. The idea here is to learn something quickly and do it in a way that you could start to make some money out of it, right? So what is the order of the languages that you should be learning to get a job? Now, many of the companies, I would say about 70% of the companies are using Selenium with Java. Selenium with Java, right? Selenium with Java is what 70% of the company. The other, maybe about 25% of the companies are using C#.NET, right? There might be some, disagreement with these numbers. Maybe I should give a range, maybe, 60 to 70% of it, and maybe, 15 to 25% are using C#, and then the other languages, whatever, right? Ruby or Python or whatever. Now, when most of the companies are using this, then we should be focusing on that. But now some of the people are coming and taking this C#.NET, and believe it or not, this is more expensive. We charge you $499, $500 for this, and we are charging you $399. Why this? The reason for that is this is, of course, less in demand, but since something is less in demand, so not many people, they know it. So people, whoever they know it, companies are willing to pay more for these guys. So if you have a knowledge in Selenium and C#.NET, maybe there are less number of jobs, but more money that you could make if you go with C#.NET, right? Okay, so that is the reason we charge a little bit more, and a lot of companies, slowly, they are moving into C#.NET. I mean, originally when we started in the year 2010, we did not offer C#.NET. Nobody asked for it. Now, starting from 2013, C#.NET picked up. A lot of companies are asking for C#.NET, and now every month we offer C#.NET. Now, there is a deal for people who wants to do both. Now, anyhow, you're paying $399 for this one, and which is, if you go to C#, you would be paying $499. So we have both, right? Java and C# combo. You could be taking both, and for both, you're just paying $599, right? So, I mean, $100 more, because $499 for C#, $100 more, which is $599, you could get both. And I'm not trying to sell you anything in here, whether you want to take it or not, totally up to you. But I'm just sharing with you. Now, if you go to dice.com, again, look for C#, many opportunities again. So I'm not going to do that, but I'm just trying to give you an idea. So in this course, we will be learning Selenium with Java. So right now, I don't know what Selenium is. I don't know what Java is, right? But I'm trying to learn this. Why? Because if I become an automation engineer, I will be writing some scripts or small programs that will be using these languages. So we have to have Java on our machine. How do we test if we have Java on our machine or not? If we don't, where do we go and get it from? Okay, here we go. So we go here, right? And type CMD, which will bring a command line, right? A command line, CMD. Okay, here you could type Java space -version, right? Now, if you hit enter, it'll tell you what version of Java you have on your machine. So on my machine, I have Java 1.7. Right? Okay, so now you might be thinking, of course, you could go to YouTube and then do that as well. So now you might be thinking that, okay, when I type Java -version on my machine, I'm not getting anything, or I'm getting something different. Okay, just to give you a little heads up, if you're not getting something, let's say I will intentionally type Java wrong and make believe that I typed Java right. And this is, so if you don't have Java, it'll say something like this, right? Don't look at that A which is hidden under it. So read it as Java. So it'll say Java is not recognized as an internal or external command. And so it is not there. That means that it is not there. Okay, how do you get Java first, right? Because you got to get Java, right? How do you get that? Well, Google is our uncle. Anything you want, you go to Google, and Google, this uncle will give you whatever you want. So you go to Google and you say, oh, I need to download Java on my machine. We don't even know what versions of Java are out there, right? So, I mean, if you ask me, I'll tell you that there is Java 7 and Java 8, or 1.7 and 1.8, Java 8 being the latest one. But you can use both of them. If you want to use 7 or 8, totally up to you. We can install both, and we can switch between both. We can do all that. So now, where do I go to download it? So right here are multiple links, right? Now, just for the heck of it, wherever it says this Oracle, use that, right? When you click on that, it's an easy way of downloading it. So when you click on that, it brought you right here, and it says that, you could download the Java, and it is talking a little bit about something called a JDK, right? So what is JDK, and you know, should I install JRE or JDK or server JRE or this, right? Okay, a little bit of difference between this. When Java is run on billions of devices, right? Java is run on billions of devices. Many devices out there, they run Java. So a lot of Java downloads happen. So if you look into it, there is a browser. Let's say we have a browser, and in the browser you will be showing some pages, right? So whatever we are showing now, depending on the site, the way a site is built, if you are trying to run that site in a browser, most of the browsers, they run if you have something called JRE, Java Runtime Engine, right? So JRE, you should have JRE on your machine to run some of the applications. So let's say if you're going to Netflix, you're watching a movie, or if you're going to eBay and then, or Amazon, and then buying something. So without even you knowing it, your machine would have already downloaded JRE. So because any application to run, most of the applications to run, you need the Java Runtime Engine, right? Or if you are if you are a Microsoft shop, then you need something called .NET framework that you need to download, which is right now, this is .NET 4.52, I guess, 4.5.2. That's the latest version of it. In Java, you have the latest version of it is Java 8. So you have to download. The JRE automatically, majority of the times, gets downloaded. For us, we are going to write, we are going to build, meaning that we are going to be writing, creating. So in order to create the scripts, we have to have something called JDK. What's the other word for creating or building? Oh, developing, right? So Java Developer Kit. So since we are going to be developing something, we got to be downloading JDK. All right. Okay. So that is the reason we will go and we will download the JDK, right? And if you see here, it gives you an easy link right here to download it, or you could click on here and download it. So let's go and then download the JDK. When you go in here to the download tab, it will show you that you could download, right? See here, you could download, and it is showing you Java 2nd edition development kit, and this the version is 8, and it says that first of all you have to accept the license. It is declined, you will accept the license, and then it says that okay, you want it for Linux. Is your machine Linux? Oh no, my machine is not Linux. Is my machine Mac? No, my machine is my machine Sun Solaris? No. Is my machine Windows? Yeah, my machine is Windows. Is it x86 or x64? x86 is a 32-bit machine. Do I have a 32-bit machine or a 64-bit? I already showed you as how to check that. So check it out, your machine, and then download it. So here is my download. So I'm going to click on that, right, and wait for it to download. And it is 187 megabyte. And once I do that, it'll download it, right? Okay. I will take a breath now because I've been talking continuously for an hour. Let me take a breath, right, and show you something that you should also be doing on your machine. Okay, I am a very, very organized person. If you wake me up at 3 in the morning, 3 in the morning is the time when people are in deep sleep. So if you wake me up and ask me, hey, Irfan, remember we did something in the year 2013 in the month of April. Can you just show me the code of that? I will take you immediately there and I will share you with the code. Meaning, what am I trying to tell you? I am trying to tell you that organize your work. You should not be taking your code and throwing here, throwing there. You should keep it, well organized in an area. So on your hard drive, I want you to go to C drive and create a folder. And notice, are you doing Android with me? No. Are you doing Angular JS testing? No. Are you doing advanced Java training? Are you doing BA training, coded UI? No. You are doing with me Selenium Java training. So I'm not going to talk about the other folders, but you should create a folder Selenium Java. If you want to call it something else, that's fine. But you would find me referring this folder, Selenium Java training folder. So if you want to keep up with me, then call it like that, right? Okay, once you create that, if I go inside, notice that I already have a lot of stuff inside it. So in your case, after you create it, it's going to be empty. It's going to be empty. There's not going to be anything in there, right? Okay, so you will create a folder in it called softwares. And in there, we will be downloading the software. So if you see here, I downloaded, JDK, and I downloaded JDK here. This is JDK 7, Java version 7. This is Java version 8. So you should have everything organized. Don't just download in the Java training because you have many other things that we will be downloading. We'll be downloading Eclipse, we'll be downloading Cucumber, we'll be downloading Ant, we'll be downloading Jenkins, we'll be right? So I want you to create softwares and then you download inside the software. So after you download it, just double click on that. Let's say this is Java 8, just double click on that and then it'll ask you, I want to run, do you want to run Java? Just click, and then it'll run Java. After it runs Java, if you had this window open from before, I'm not going to run now, cancel. If you have this window open from, close the window, open again a new window, and now you say Java -version. All right, and then you should see something like this. You should see something, whatever version it is, 1.8 or 1.7, but you should see that. Okay, so what did we just cover? We covered that you should be downloading Java JDK on your machine. So coming back here, we talked about preparing your machine, wherein you should be downloading all the browsers, and you should also be downloading Java. So let me just say download and install Java, right? Okay, so when you come back on Monday, of course, these two things should be installed, right? So coming back, we said, where is it? We said that Selenium uses multiple languages, but we'll be using Java. I showed you where to download Java, how to install it. I showed you that, right? Now, the big thing is, I did not show you as how to get Selenium. I told you that Selenium comes in multiple or different versions like IDE, RC, and WebDriver. So I got to show you right now as how you'll be setting up your environment wherein you have to go and download IDE. Okay, again, we go where? Oh, you guessed it right. So we go to Google and we say download. What? Download. You have to spell download and say Selenium. Whoa. Download Selenium. And when you hit enter, now just go to this site, right? And let me talk to you a little bit about this site, right? SeleniumHQ.org, right? SeleniumHQ.org. And let me not go into this download. Just go to the site homepage. Okay. This site is like the Bible, right? I mean, if you need anything, you go to Bible, right? I mean, or you go to your book, right? I go to my book, you go to your book, right? So, I mean, you have all the information in there, right? And forgive me if there's any atheist here. Then you go to Google, I guess. Well, the point is, there's a lot of information about Selenium, right, on this website. Now, let's start with the technical definition of what is Selenium. So the simple answer to what is Selenium, if you ask 100 different people, they'll give you 100 different answers of what is Selenium. Now, as you can see, the technical definition of what Selenium is, Selenium automates browser. That's it. They said that's it. That's it. Selenium automates browser. Well, I mean that is not necessarily a good technical definition, right? You agree with me that it is not a technical definition. Well, here is the rest of the stuff. When we read, it's going to be the rest of the stuff. So as we go along down the road in this course, we will try to build on what is Selenium a little bit more and more and more and more. And by the time you're going to be done with this training, if somebody asks you what is Selenium, you'll give them at least 10 minutes lecture on what is Selenium. Right now, Selenium is nothing but it automates the actions on the browser. So as an example, let me take you to an application. Let me take you to an application here. Let's say now I could have taken you to an application like Amazon.com. I could have taken you to an application like eBay. I could have taken you to an application like Alibaba.com, right? I could have taken to any of the retail applications. The reason I brought you here to online, so TrainingRite.net/online, is because if you see, what are the chances that you would find any defects if you are going and testing an Amazon.com website, or for that matter, eBay, or Onyx, or for any, you fill in the blank, you come up with the name. What are the chances that you would ever go and find a defect on that? Chances are almost zero, because hundreds of testers would have tested those applications. So you would never find a bug or defect in there. So what I have done is I have taken up the model, the same model, because what happens in an e-commerce site? In an e-commerce site, what do a user do in an e-commerce site? So if you are going to Amazon, you tell me, what do you do? When you go to an Amazon site, these are the things that a visitor would do. He would basically type something that he's looking for, right? So type something that he's looking for. In other words, they search, right? Search for, the product. They search for it. Now, that's the first thing that you would do. And once you search for a product, if you find it, you would find it. The next thing is, in case of an e-commerce application, you have the concept of something called a shopping cart, right? And we'll talk a little bit more about what is a shopping cart and all that in the upcoming classes. But when you search for a product, if you want to buy it, you would do what? Add to the shopping cart. You would add it to the shopping cart. So when you add to the shopping cart, are you done with it? Or you might be looking for more. So you might repeat as C, you might repeat A, search for another product, and then do add to it. Or you could also do, so you could repeat A and B, right? Or what you could do is you could modify the cart. Modify. Now, what do you mean by modifying the card? Well, if you are searching for something, and if you add to the card, when you look at it, I mean, I don't know about you, but I do this quite a bit. When you look at it, that the original price of that is, let's say, $38, right? And they're giving me for $22. What I do, I go and I add one more, right, for my mother-in-law, right? Yes, I do. I add one more, or sometimes I add two more, one for my mother-in-law, one for my brother-in-law. I could add more if I see like a real value in here. So that adding is nothing but modifying the card. The card had only one before. Now I added two more. And then once I do that, once the total starts to build up, so it is 22 times 3 now, all of a sudden it is 66. And I'm like, maybe I should not buy it for my brother-in-law, right? So I have to remove. So that is modification of the card. Why am I saying these things to you? Because we have to automate all of this. We have to write the script wherein I should know as how to add items to the card, how to remove items to the card from the card, and that is nothing but modifying the card. So I should automate by saying how to search for a product, how to add something to it, how to modify the card. And then finally, after you do that, you are doing what? You're basically, after you modify the card, you would be checking out, right? Checkout. So checkout is, again, a 2-3 step process. So in the checkout, you'll be entering customer info. And then you'll be entering, let's say, the payment info. And the payment info is probably about credit cards. So you could have multiple credit cards to deal with. You have Amex, you have American Express, you have Visa, you have MasterCard, you have Discover, you have Diner, you have whatnot, right? So we will be looking into how to make sure that the data that we are entering about a credit card, is that a valid credit card, right? So there are some algorithms that we have to, and I don't want you to get scared. Don't get scared. I mean, my job is to teach you all this, right? If you think that in the past hour or hour and a half, if I was making sense, if I'm making sense to you so far, trust me, it is going to be the same. Once we get started, you'll have more and more interest in it at that time. So the idea here is we should go, and I have one of the question here is, hey, what if you decide not to check out, but just let go? Yeah, we could do that. We could empty the shopping cart as well. So I'm going to go through all that scenarios. Remember, I told you when we are going to be done with this course, I will cover almost every possible scenarios that you would come across if you are going to be doing this automation testing at work, right? Every possible scenario. So in the interview, they're going to be asking you a question. Hey, in your previous project, what were you doing in the previous project? So whatever I teach you, just go and talk about it. Just talk about it. So you should be very good in talking. So from tonight, in your shower, Selenium. In your driving, Selenium. While cooking, Selenium. While changing the diaper of your kid, Selenium. Right? Talk to your kid, Selenium. Talk to your husband, Selenium. Selenium, 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 Selenium for next 30 days. And then I challenge you, if you don't get a good paying job, because you have to know how to speak the language. Right? You have to practice. That's equally important because you might be a very good automation engineer writing beautiful scripts you write, but if you're not able to talk about it, they don't know you. I will know you because I'm interacting with you for the next 1 month, so I will know where you're going. If you're not submitting the assignment, I can tell you. I will not kind of like make you or embarrass you in front of people. I'll not call out your name, but between you and me, I would highlight and I'll let you know that, hey, you know what, you're not keeping up. So, and that is a sign for you to focus. Oh, what is wrong with me, right? Let me make sure that I focus a little bit more. All right, so coming back, so we will be doing all of these things. So let me take you here. Let me take you here. And what if I tell you in the next half an hour or 40 minutes that we have, you will know everything as how to automate this application. Everything that I told you, which is what? Search for a product, add to the shopping cart, repeat these steps, keep searching, keep adding, modify, add, remove, right? Give it to brother-in-law, take it away from brother-in-law, check out, add customer information, add payment information, and the part 3 was add the delivery information, because we want UPS to pick up and bring it to our door, right? So we got to be entering the shipping information, all that, and then eventually we will be automating this application in the next 10 minutes. And I will tell you, probably you will take like 10, 15, 20 minutes to master it. So by the end of the day today, before you go to bed, you would know as how to automate this application using Selenium IDE. How good is that? Now you would say, I don't believe you. I'm telling you, you will do it. You will do it. I mean, if you have to go to work tomorrow morning, and if you have to wake up at like 5 o'clock, don't do it tonight. I mean, I don't want you to get so indulged into it that you get late to work tomorrow and then blame me that you're late to work. No, don't do it. But the idea here is it is doable. You will see me doing it, and I will be walking you step by step by step by step. And then you will see, oh, it cannot be this easy. Guess what? Every day it is going to be like this, step by step, step by step. I will teach you, you would learn it, and at the end of 8 days, you'll be good at it, right? Okay, with that said, let me do a manual test for it. The manual testing is, all right, let me just write a test case for this. The test case for this is, and this is kind of like a simple test case. Test case. What is the objective? The objective is to test the shopping cart functionality of the TrainingRite website, right? Okay. Let's go with the test steps. To test the shopping cart functionality, what is a general shopping cart functionality? That means that I should be able to do the following. I should be able to search. I should be able to add / remove. That means that / remove is modify, and I should be able to do what? I should be able to check out, and I should be able to part of the checkout is customer info and payment info and the shipping info, right? And finally capture the order number, because if anything of what I wrote here, if the application cannot do it, right? If the application cannot search, right, my test case should fail. If it cannot add or remove in a meaningful way, I'm adding 1, and if it is adding like 5 to it, that means that there's a bug, there's a defect in it, right? If I'm trying to click on a button to remove, it's not removing, oh, there's a defect in it, right? I'm trying to check out, wherein I have to enter the customer information. When I enter the customer's phone number, oh, it is chopping off the area code, oh, there is a bug defect in it, right? When I'm entering the credit card information, it is not taking, oh, there is a defect in it, right? And now in the credit card, it should take all American Express, Visa, and all that. It is taking American Express and Visa, but when it comes to MasterCard, it is not taking it. Oh, there's a defect in it. When it comes to, so we got to be testing all that. Now you would say, oh, are you going to do all that in the next 30 minutes? I say, yeah, why not? So let's get going, right? Let's talk less and do more. Okay, step number 1. In order to test this shopping cart functionality, this is what, it's a website. That means that I have to open a browser, right? Okay, which browser? I mean, today I'm getting started, so I got to pick and choose, I don't want to do all. So let's start with Firefox. So open a browser, Firefox browser, and navigate and go where? Oh, go to this website. Navigate to the TrainingRite website. Make sense? That should be our first step. How am I going to automate that? I'll tell you. How am I going to write the script for that? I'll tell you, right? And if you could do that, if I could do it and show it to you, then you should also be able to do it if you do the assignment, all right? Okay, step number 2. After you open the browser and navigate to this TrainingRite website, what do you want to do? Well, this is what it is, right? This is what it is. Then I would like to search for it, right? So let me just go and put a product in there. Now, just to give you an idea, you cannot be putting in any product there because the website doesn't have all the products in the world, right? So and the home page, I'm showing you all of these products that you could put in there, right? So as an example, there are some TVs and then some cameras and then there's some phones, iPhone and stuff like that, right? And if we can do it for this many products, I think pretty much we could do it for all. So let us go with an iPhone. So I will search for iPhone. So you would say, why do you even have to search? It's right here. I mean, it's okay, it's right here, but let me search it, or let me search for Sony TV. How about that? So Sony, right? Sony products. And if I do that, as you can see, I have a TV here, right? Okay, so my search is working. If I go back and if I say, oh, let me do it for Panasonic, right? Now, why am I using Panasonic at Sony? Because I know that that's what I have in my system. So that's why I want you to just scroll down and see. For Panasonic, I have this TV, that TV, probably one more TV or what, right? Okay, 2. So when I say Panasonic, okay, this is 2 TV. So my search is kind of like working, right? Okay, so if I go back to my document in here, I said open a browser and do what? Search for a product. Search for a product. And the product, as an example, can be Sony or Panasonic or iPhone, something like that. All right. Okay. So that's step number 2. Step number 3. When you search, as an example, let's say if I put iPhone, and when you hit go, when you search, you find them. The next thing is I know that, okay, my search is kind of like what? So add or remove. Let me start with add. Oh, I could add a card. I could add it to the card. Oh, I like the plus, right? It's big. I like it, right? So I want to buy it. Okay. So here we go. Regular is $8.99. I'm getting a sale for $50. I'm going to add it to the cart. So you are doing what? You are clicking on this button. You click on the button and here is your cart. Here is your cart. It tells you a little bit about the product is 1, right? iPhone Plus and $8.49. And oh, look at that. You have a discount going on. So I'm getting $7.40. You know what? I am going to buy for my, you know who, right? So probably a married man, I like my in-laws, so I buy for my brother-in-law. You might be buying it for somebody else. You can buy it for whoever you want, right? So let's go with 2. So what did I just do? The first one was adding to the cart that I did. Now I did what? Modify the cart. So after modification, I guess recalculate order. And if I do that, this should, because we have 2 now, 849 times 2, you do the math. I'm weak in that. So I do that. 1698, right? Okay, so I have 2 of them I'm buying. I got some discount here, $15.95. So modify did work. And remember I said repeat A, B, A, B. So to search for more, I go in here. And this time I'm going to buy a TV or maybe a camera. So I say camera and do that. We have some cameras here, right? And I like this one because it's originally $237, but now it is for $200. Let me buy that. So I buy it. Right? No, we are not buying it for anybody else. I'm happy that it is $200. That's all. So it not only kept my 2 iPhones in there, and I bought this one, and I want to change it. No, I'm not buying for him, so only 1. So recalculate. Everything is working. Good. I have whatever I have. Proceed to checkout. When you proceed to checkout, I still have an opportunity of purchasing more. The shopping cart is right here. So this is no different from you taking the cart. You are right there at the counter right now, right? At the counter. So even at the counter, if you go to ShopRite or if you go to places like you have before you check out, you still, they got some magazines and, you know, whatever. So chewing gums or chocolate, you could still, so same concept in here. Oh, register for more products. You could do that. But let us, you know, just go and buy this one. So customer information, because this is an online, you got to put in your information. So here is my information. So I'm going to put my information there, and my address, 144 Fairway Terrace, and city is Paramus, state is New Jersey, and 07652. Daytime phone number, right? Visa, credit card number, right? And let's say you would say, oh, the Visa doesn't start with a 6, it starts with whatever. Okay, that's fine. So I'll say that, okay, it starts with 4. And back of the card is 124, and month is 12, and let's say 2016. And shipping to myself. So again, let's say I don't put in some shipping information. I don't put in the shipping information, right? So now we will go in here, and I put in my this one, and I put in my Visa. I did not put in my shipping information. Now it's an online. See, don't you think that shipping is required, the address and all that? So if I don't put it in there, and if I try to submit my order, it should take my order or no? That's a question. So what do you think? It should take it or not? Now, for all of you who are here and still awake, if I did not put you to sleep, I expect you to just say yes or no. So you think when I submit the order should go through right now, or it should come back and tell me that, hey, the address is not there. So Festus says that, no, it should not go. And among the 15 people, Festus is the only person who responded. Now Harita says that, no, it should not go. Shalini says that, are you kidding me? How will it go? It should not go. And Seket says that, no, it should not go. So the rest of you very conveniently decided to ignore me. And said, he's babbling. He's just talking. I am the expert here. What do I care if he asks me a question? I'm not gonna respond because this is beyond me if I respond to his question. Well, or you're like, I did a job, then I put you to sleep already. It's 10 o'clock, and as they say in it's 10 o'clock right now, right? Where are your kids? More than the kids. Okay, Gurvinder says now, I think it should throw an alert message, right? So, I mean, look how hard I have to try to get an answer of yes or no from you. I mean, the rest of you totally like, no, I'm not going to respond at all. Ryan says that, I don't care what you ask, however you ask, I'm not going to respond. Nick says that, to heck with you, my friend, I am not responding, right? And okay, all right. So anyway, so that was a question, and you all feel that it should not go through. Here we go. And guess what? It not only went through, it also gave you a confirmation number. So what would you say just happened in here? What would you say just happened in here? This has a serious what? Defect in it. Because how in the world can there not be a shipping address and it will give you the submit order? So that means that there is a defect in it, right? So what your job is, not only to do automation, but also try and find out if there are any defects. So there should be two things that you should be doing. When you are doing your testing, the first time you should go with what is called a happy path scenario. So happy path scenario means, happy path scenario is if an application is expecting something, give it that data, right? Make sure that you enter that data, right? So if it was expecting you to put in the shipping information, I did not do it, right? But I want you to put in that information, because in happy path we expect, you know, a user most of the users are obliging, right? Meaning that if you tell them to do something, they will do it. So if you are putting the website in front of them, and if the website has some of the fields in there, they will fill in those fields, you know. So, but we should not, that is a happy path scenario. But we should not take it for granted that they will be filling it. What if they don't? So that means that we should try all the negative scenarios, right? But in our testing, in the beginning, we will just keep to happy path scenario, and then later on, maybe in the next few classes, I'll show you how to do the negative testing and all that. All right? Okay, very good. So I have done the manual testing. So now we will go ahead and we will do the automation of it. So for the automation, what do we got to do? First of all, we have to go and we have to prepare our machine and download. What are we downloading right now? Just for the heck of it, what are we downloading right now? If you say that, oh, you told me that Selenium has IDE, RC Server, and WebDriver. So I think you said since day one, we will not be doing any scripting. So you'll be teaching us how to record and run it. And record and run is, you said that it's a feature of IDE. So I'm guessing that you would download IDE today. I would say that exactly, your guess is absolutely right, absolutely correct. I will go and download IDE. So when I said download IDE, it brought me here, right? So there's a lot of things that we could download here. I am looking for IDE. If you scroll down, IDE, right? Kind of like halfway down, right? See maybe around, not halfway, maybe, 40% down of my scroll bar is Selenium IDE, and I could download things in here. Now, before I download Selenium IDE, I want to read something. Notice I don't want to, have PowerPoint slides. I don't want to have, because I don't believe in like reading stuff, right? I want to do stuff with my own hands, but at the same time, when there is a need for us to read something, we have to read it. So here is something that I want to take a second and I want to read it. So what is Selenium IDE? Selenium IDE is a Firefox plugin. Let me read it again. Selenium IDE is a Firefox plugin. So that means that you can use Selenium IDE only with Firefox. So that's a drawback. So you would say, hey, I got to be testing it for Internet Explorer, for Google Chrome, for Apple Safari, for Opera, for this, and how can I do that? Well, we'll come to it. I'll show you how to do that, not necessarily with IDE, but with RC Server and WebDriver. But with IDE, if you're using IDE, you have to use Firefox, right? Okay, so Selenium IDE is a Firefox plugin which records, right? Records and playback user interactions with the browser. What do you mean by user interaction? Oh, user interactions means that whatever you do there, as an example, clicking on something, right, and typing something, those are all user interaction. So what we will do is basically we will go ahead and we will download this guy now. So to download Selenium IDE, it says that you could download the previous versions here, or you could download the latest versions from add-ons mozilla.org. So when I click on that latest version, notice that it brings me here add-ons, and it says that add to Firefox. So what is Selenium IDE? Selenium IDE is, as you notice, it keeps becoming more and more technical now. Selenium IDE is an integrated development environment for Selenium test. It is implemented as a Firefox extension and allows you to record, edit, and debug tests. Now, we don't know nothing about debugging tests. I did not teach you. I did not even teach you how to record the tests. So in order to do that, I have to prepare my machine first. Preparation of the machine is adding the Selenium IDE to my Firefox. So you should do this only with Firefox. When you add it, it says, oh, it is added. It is added. It says that I am going to install the add-on on the Firefox. Do you want to install or cancel? Oh, I do want to install. So I click on that. It says that in a second, it says that, oh, it is already added. You should restart now. Restart what? Restart Firefox, not the not what? Not the computer restart the Firefox. Okay, when I do that, notice everything here, now it is going to go away, gone, right? And it is going to restart. So here it is restarting, it restarted. Now let me see where it had installed the Selenium IDE, correct? Because we just installed Selenium IDE. Where is it? Well, for that, you have to basically go and to check where it is. You will make sure that this is the menus here on the top, menus here on the top. Sometimes the menus will not show, so you just right click and make sure that this menu bar is checked. If it is not checked, you cannot see, right? So check the menu bar and then click on the tools. When you click on tools, you will see that this Selenium IDE is installed here, right? Okay, I'm gonna click on Selenium IDE. When I click on the Selenium IDE, right, now I have to basically, 1 second here, 1 second here. When I do that, when I do Selenium IDE, when you click on that, what do you expect? Something to open saying that it's Selenium IDE. Here we go, and this is what it is. This is the Selenium IDE on your machine. Now, before we do anything, any questions on how to download Selenium IDE? If you have any questions, please do ask me. If you don't, then I'm going to make an assumption that you are all good when it comes to downloading Selenium IDE. Just to give you an idea, Selenium IDE has a version of 2.9.1. Not that it is of big importance, but just keep an eye on it, because sometimes the version compatibilities would also become an issue. Things would not work with the very latest version of it, so you might have to go and get the slightly older version, so stuff like that. So remember that. Okay, now what we see here is Selenium IDE. I'm going to close it, open it again, Selenium IDE, this Selenium IDE. Okay, what is the purpose of Selenium IDE? Oh, it is going to record my actions that I'm going to do on a browser. So according to my documentation, I have to, my test steps, I did not complete it. First test step is launch a browser and navigate to the TrainingRite.net website. Okay, so I had launched the browser, right? And if you see here, this is my IDE, right? I launched the browser. Then I'm gonna go here to TrainingRite.net. So let me just type here. Okay, TrainingRite.net. Okay, we have some issues here. One second. Okay, there it is. Hang on for a second. I'm just gonna, okay. So you go to the application, and now open it, So now we are ready to record. So you should not open this IDE before you go to the application. So notice here, after you go to the application, when I open it, I see this TrainingRite.net in here, right? So that is the base URL. That is where anything that we are going to do here now, it is going to record. So if you look at it, there's one thing that I want to draw your attention. There are so many things in here. These are the menu items of Selenium IDE. There is something in the left side called test case and title, and then there is fast, slow, and all that. And here, particularly here, if you see this red button, what it is it says, the red button says that it is already recording right now recording. So if I do anything in this right now, if I click anywhere, if I do anything, it'll record. So what I have to do is, first of all, I have to go to that site. So I will put in here /online. I will do that. I type that online, right? Okay, then we are here. Then I'm going to continue to do this. So as I am doing things in here, searching for, let's say, iPhone. I typed iPhone into this box and I clicked on the go. When I do that, I have this thing here, right? And if you see here, out of the 2 iPhones, I will click on the plus, right? I click on plus. I want you to remember I click on the plus, right? And I will go ahead and I will change it to 3, right? And I recalculate. This recalculate button I have to put is because this application, the application, when we develop the application, this requires you to recalculate. Some of them, once you get out of it, it automatically does that. So this is recalculating it. After it recalculate, maybe if I want more products, I could just go in here and register more products. I will go in here. I will search again, and this time I'm going to search for camera, right? And I will do a go, and some cameras came, so I will take the Canon, this blue camera, right? PowerShot camera. So I'm going to take that, right? Okay, so I have the PowerShot digital blue camera, and I have Apple 3 of that I have. Now I'm ready to check out, right? Too much money I spent, so I'm ready to check out. I click on that. I'll enter one of your information. So let me enter, let's say, Shalini. So I would go in here and I enter Shalini. I'm not going to put your last name. So I'll just say your last name as last name. And address, guys, don't worry. This is not Shalini's real address. I'm just putting something in there. So don't send her something. Don't call her because it's just a made-up address. All right. So 123 Main Street, and she would say, no, I don't live on Main Street. That's just some making it up, right? I have no knowledge where she lives, but I'm just gonna put something here. Let's say she lives in I don't know, maybe Dallas, right? Dallas is in Texas, and I don't know the zip code in there, so I'm just gonna make believe that that's that. And her phone number, we'll just make it up as 219-852-369. All right, and we're paying by Visa, and the Visa's credit card number is, let's say that. Don't copy it, fake number, don't use it. And a month is 12/20/18. Now, shipping Shalini, last name, and let's say she wants to ship it to her mom's address, and her mom is in a different state. So 1990 Clinton Boulevard, right? And this is going to be in a city of Chicago, Illinois, and I don't know, so I'm not going to worry too much about it. Our mom's phone number is that. All right, beautiful. So we got everything in here. Now I'm going to submit the order, right? I'm going to submit the order. I did submit the order. Wow, we have a number here. So that means that I have this number that I have basically everything went through. Okay. All right. So what happened behind the scenes? If you go in here, lo and behold, we have many things that happened behind the scenes. Wow, we got a bunch of things that happened behind the scenes, as you can see. What you see here is Selenium IDE captured every action that we performed in there. It captured into it, right? Okay, since it captured everything into it, I would like to save it, give it a name and save it. So I'm going to say File, Save Test Case As, Save Test Case As. Where are we saving? So if you go into this, you don't even have the Selenium Java. So I'm telling you, go ahead, make the Selenium Java training as a folder, and in there you had already created probably software as your one of your folders is software, wherein you're going to be downloading everything into that software. Create another folder, call it IDE test cases, and inside IDE test cases, give it a name. So this is what, and I just give it some name in here. So this is TrainingRite, right? Shopping cart, yes, right? And I'll just give it a, this is April 2016 batch. All right. Okay. So I just gave that. and I will save it. I save it, and as you can see here, it is saved as that name, right? As that name, and we have things in here, right? Okay. Now, what is the purpose of why did we do all this? Because we said with Selenium IDE, we can automation. We can do automation. So we recorded every action. Now we want to play it back. We want to run it again. So in order to run it, if you see here, in order to run it, now these are the buttons. This is something called play entire test suite. What is the difference between a test suite and a test case? A test suite is, as you can see, many test cases. A collection of test cases is a test suite. In here, I don't even have more than one, so I have only one. So whether I do a test suite or I do a test case, it's the same. So it is going to do the same. Okay, so if I run it, it's going to run very fast. We might not even see what is happening. It runs so fast like a robot. So I will say, slow it down, slow it down. And I want to see everything that is happening. So what I will do is, since this is covering everything in the back, I would not be able to see it. So I will try to make it like that. Try to make it like that. And this one, I'll try to make it like that. Right? And the things that we are seeing in here is, and I'll explain you what is all this, but I want to run it right now. Now, if you want to run it, now we are in the TrainingRite.net submit order. Let me just go away from here. Let me go to Yahoo. Let me go to Yahoo. And here, this is my test case already here, all recorded. Let me do some automation and see if I could rerun the same test case with these things, if I could rerun it, right? So here we go. And if I do that, if it does everything, that means that I know as how to do first level of automation. So let's see if I could do it. So I'm going to run, and as it runs, it'll go step by step, it'll do it. And as it is doing it, it'll be beige color, and if it moves to the second one successfully, this will be light green. Light green, light green, light green. It'll do it if I run. And keep an eye on the browser. So the first line here, the command is open what? Open TrainingRite.net and go to online. So that's the meaning of that. It is going to open and take me there, whatever my base URL is. So I am in Yahoo right now. My browser is in Yahoo, but it will, when I run it, it'll go to the base URL, and then it'll type online and it takes me there. After that, it will type. So these are the commands it will do. It'll type what? Whatever is the value, which is iPhone. Where is it going to type? It is going to type in one of the text boxes there. It is going to type. So I'm going to be explaining you all of these things. First, let us run it and keep an eye on this one and keep an eye on this one and see what is happening. There we go. So did it open? Yeah. Did it type iPhone? Yeah. Did it? Okay. Did it select? Yeah. Oh, now notice there's already 4 in it. And why there is already 1 in it? So let's see what happens. See, now we have 2. So that means that there's something wrong. So Shalini and all that, it is writing now. It is writing all that, and it is typing that. It is selecting Lisa and that and that and that and that, and it is going to send it to Shalini's mom, Chicago. And notice on the right side, things are happening, and then it's going to click on that, and then voila, the test is completed, and you have green here. That means that whatever we tell it to do, it is doing everything there. Right? Now, originally, I saw a problem. The problem was, if we go back in the shopping cart, if you look into it, it is 3 and 2, but in the beginning it showed me something like 4. And so why it is, that is because every time you go in there, right, you have to basically remove the clear the history and all that. You have to do. One second. Here we go. I think it goes in the options and advanced general show. No, not this one. So one of the places in here, let us see where it is. Here. So in privacy, okay, so in this privacy tab, so the way we do it is the reason it was showing something in this is because we have to clear the cache. So you go in here and in the options you go into privacy and just say clear all current history, right? When you do that and everything in here we say clear now, it clears, and you just close the tab, and then you open it. Let me close and open it, right? Okay, now we will go and we will do what? We will run that test. In order to run that test, uh, in order to run that test, let me open the Selenium IDE, right? And let me file, open, right? And this is the April 2016, that test, and open it. So that's the test. Now we could just go ahead and then run the test. And when I run the test, now for some reason, if I need to edit, see here 3, if I need to change it to 2, I could just go in here and do 2 here, right? I could do, and notice that it changed to 2, right? So we could change that, and we could. So let us do that later on. So let me just run it right now. So here we go, and this is at fast. If you want to run fast, you could do that. If you want to do a little bit slow, you could do that. Let us run it right now. So here we go. So it is going to open, type iPhone, do that. Now notice there is nothing there because we cleared that cache. We change it to 2, we come back camera, and we added this blue camera, and it is going to add Shalini, last name, da, 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 da. If we need to change anything, we could come in there and then we could select whatever it is and then change that if we need to change anything. Okay, right now what we have done is we started off today with pretty simple example wherein I have explained you everything as what we are getting into in terms of Selenium doing the testing of the apps. So there can be different types of apps. There can be mainframe, client server, web, and mobile. We said that we'll not be doing mainframe, client server, and we'll not be doing mobile, and we will be doing the web apps. Web apps runs in browsers. You got to have multiple browsers. So I gave you the first part of the assignment to install all the browsers. Then in order to do the testing, we will be using Selenium for that. Selenium runs in basically IDE or RC server or WebDriver. So what we got to do is here, we started off with Selenium IDE. So you have to go and download and install Selenium IDE. Before that, I showed you as how to go ahead and download Java. So if any one of you doesn't remember these things, you can watch the video. So this video will be processed in the next half an hour or so, and then we will upload it, and you all will have, the paid people will have access to the video, and you will be able to go back and then watch it and see how we do it. So I talked about downloading Java, and I talked about downloading IDE. So if you see in here, I said even though the job of an automation tester is to build scripts, but we need not build scripts by writing the code the first time. So if we have to write the code, we have to use a language like Java, C#, this and that. This course is only Java, so I'll be focusing on Java. Now, in order for you to go ahead and do that, you should be downloading the JDK. I explained you the reasons for JDK, and you would be downloading JDK. You would have done that. And then to test an application, I walked you through the e-commerce application. I told you that if a visitor goes in there, he would be searching, adding, repeating this and that. So I walked you through, and I give you a scenario wherein they might add and then they might modify. Modify is adding some numbers and this and that. So we have to automate it. And the automation is done basically by going with Happy Path scenario that you would be checking, and with the IDE. And the IDE, I showed you everything, where to download IDE, how to create this test case, how to record, and how to run. So when we come back tomorrow, or whenever we are coming back, I expect you to do an assignment wherein you will be able to show me a screenshot of this. This is what I should see. If you send me a screenshot of this, what is it going to show me? It is going to show me that he or she not only ran this, but they ran successfully, because I'll be seeing this green here. They ran successfully, and I will be looking into that. Okay, the final one is they clicked on this submit after they entered customer information, and I know that this is the credit card that you would have entered, and then this is your address, and this is your shipping address, and then I see a green. That means that everything ran. Now, how will everything run? That means that you have put in some serious effort, not only to download Java, but to download Selenium IDE also, because this is Selenium IDE. If you have missed any step, then you would have not come to this point. That means that you were successful in setting up the environment. You were successful in setting up the environment and downloading and installing at least Firefox, right? And then downloading and installing Java, downloading and installing IDE, and you showed me this screenshot. That means that you already knew as how to do this testing. Okay, we're going to stop here, and I will take your questions. Every day, whenever we come to the session, at the tail end of it, I will have a Q&A, right? And I'll take your questions. If you don't have any questions, that tells me two things. First thing is, either I am basically teaching you in a way that you have absolutely no idea of what is happening in here, right? And you are so upset with me that you have no question at all, because you did not understood anything. And if you don't know anything, where are you going to begin to ask me a question? So there are not going to be any question, right? So if you don't ask me a question, that could be a scenario. Or the other scenario could be you found everything I explained to you so easy that you are saying that, oh, this guy explained everything to me, I have no question. So if you are in the second latter scenario, then I like you a lot. If you are in the former scenario, then you and I, we need to talk, right? Okay, so let's make an assumption that you are in the former scenario, that you did not understood anything. Now, if that's the case, then you have to make a decision whether we are going to go forward with this course or not, because the course is going to become a little bit challenging starting from day 3 onwards. Day 2, it's going to be easy. Starting from day 3, it is going to be a little bit challenging, because we'll be using more and more tools. We'll be using Eclipse, and we will be downloading so many things. We'll be writing some code and all that. All right. Okay. So let me see. Gurvinder asked a question. Can you please provide a link for Selenium RC, Maven, and videos? All that is given to you as a part of your videos. You'll be watching the videos, and you will be made a member of our forum. Just to give you an idea, 1 second. Let me take you here, and okay. So when you log into your Gmail, after you log into your Gmail, I want you to go here and select this Google Drive. Select the Google Drive. When you select the Google Drive, I am the admin of it, so I can see all of these courses. You will not be seeing the Google Drive for all of these courses, you will be seeing the Google Drive for Selenium only. So when you click on that, you should be seeing all the materials for these things. As an example, you'll be seeing some material for AND. So just I'm giving you this example. So if you go into that, and you will see that AND is, hang on. So this is some explanation of what is AND, how do you do bring AND into your machine, how do you configure step by step, how do you run the test, how do you see some errors, everything step by step, it is in there in the documentation. And the test would have ran RC server. This is an example of RC server, this and that, build successful, all that you would be seeing as a part of AND. Now, just to give you an example, Cucumber, right? Creating Cucumber and Selenium, creating a Cucumber project, practical learning of Cucumber. So when you go in here, it'll talk to you everything about Cucumber. Again, the documentation will be, the documentation will be given to all of you folks who are registered members of that, and it'll be even, you can take a look into it. Now let me see where and how can I access the videos. Swati, we will give you the videos. I just have to do it usually after the first case, we will after the first day rather, we will take care of that. Now I have following two questions. First one, Selenium only used to automate regression testing. I saw many Selenium jobs on DICE that requires Jenkins as the required skill. Are we going to be learning integration tool or anything similar? Yeah, we will be doing SubVersion SVN, Tortoise, and all that. I'll be showing you about all that. Where and how I can access the videos? Yeah, you will have access to the videos. I do not have Java experience. How is the impact of my lack of Java? I think 60 to 70% of the students who come in to take these courses, they don't have Java experience. What we will do is we'll give you enough of Java that you should be able to do your day-to-day job very easily. If you understood today's class, the following classes are not going to be any different from today. It will be step by step. I'll walk you through, and you should be able to handle it, Austin. You should be fine. Yeah, I have to send you the invite, Shalini, and I will do that. Yeah, Harita, you will also be given the the invitation to join the Google groups as well as the Google Drive. So we're going to be doing that. If we can do it tonight, the girls will do it tomorrow during the day. All right. Okay. For those of you who are already enrolled, you will be sent a link to join the Monday class. Expect the link around 2 o'clock in the afternoon Eastern Standard Time. If you don't get the link around 2 or 3, shoot an email. Don't call. Don't wait till 8:30. Shoot an email saying that I did not get the link for today's class, and they will send you the link. Don't wait till the last minute. Where should we be sending the assignments? Okay, you should be sending the assignments to this email address, TrainingRite@gmail.com. So send it to this email address, TrainingRite@gmail.com, all your assignments. Again, I started off my session today walking you through that graph, right? 100% versus 8 sessions. So today you should have gotten about 5%, 5 to 7, 8% of Selenium. You, at least with the IDE, you should be able to do some automation, this and that. So about 5 to 6% of Selenium you got. Still 95% of Selenium is needed. And as we continue in the upcoming classes, you'll be learning more and more. And that's how it is going to be. Okay, I'm done for the day. You guys, if you have any questions, ask me. If not, thank you so much for being here. For those folks who have already registered, you'll be getting your link on Monday afternoon by 2 o'clock. For those of you folks who are sitting on the sidelines and still thinking whether to go for it or not, well, I think from my side, I have told you the reasons you should be taking this course. If you don't want to, that's up to you. I'm not gonna tell you that you should or you should not. So make a decision, and before the second class, you should be registered. All right. Okay. Thank you. Have a good one. See you back on Monday. Same place, same time. Enjoy your weekend. See you back on Monday. Thank you. Have a good one.